1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
And to see a man put that valve in his mouth and insert it into a soccer ball and blow 30 pounds of air and then have the ability to pull that thing out without it fracturing the back of his mouth was unbelievable. You had to see his neck and his veins popping. It was unbelievable. How proud I was as I watched him do it time after time.
Little Bob Uecker to start the show today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Josh in studio with me as well.
As always.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Mark.
Josh and I, full disclosure, were together last night in lovely Rochester, New York, seeing a movie. The movie, the 1980 hit film starring Al Pacino, directed by William Friedkin, Cruising.
What a film.
What a film. A true classic of the crime genre. Al Pacino plays an undercover police officer who goes into the homosexual nightclub scene in New York City in the 1970s to track down a serial killer.
That's right.
Very interesting movie. Very dark, but at the same time, like has a good sense of humor to it.
Has some truly laugh out loud moments.
Very much so.
Which you don't normally say in a horror serial killer movie.
Yeah.
Actually, you kind of do.
It's very much a thriller, but William Friedkin always had kind of a sick sense of humor to him. I mean, even The Exorcist, for as terrifying as it is, has some parts where you're like, oh, come on. Like, that you laugh at. So Josh and I together last night, but getting together again this morning to do the show. I wanted to start the show with some Bob Uecker because he passed away on Thursday at the age of 90. An absolute icon in not just the sports world, not just the media world, just in general. A broadcaster that transcended sports broadcasting in a way a lot of guys haven't been able to do. He was the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers for over 50 years. He had a major league playing career that he would tell you was maybe the worst ever. Career 200 hitter, 14 career home runs. As Raleigh Fingers put it, the Hall of Fame closer, he only hit 12 more home runs than I did. And he was a closer. But did so much more. Obviously, his unbelievable performance in the movie Major League, which as Harry Doyle, the broadcaster for everyone's favorite Cleveland Indians team, and went on to do these Miller Lite commercials that were absolutely hysterical. Have you watched any of the Miller Lite commercials?
I don't think I have. No.
There's one great one that everyone brings up. He's going to a game at County Stadium, the old Brewers Stadium, and he goes and sits in these seats, and they appear to be really good seats, and he looks to the guys next to him. He goes, great seats, huh, fellas? And the usher comes up to him and goes, sir, that's not your seat. He goes, oh, I must be in the front row. And then they cut to him in the absolute nosebleeds. And he looks to the guy who's the only man sitting behind him. There's one row behind him in the stadium. Yep. He looks to him, hey, great seats, buddy. He missed the tag. He starts screaming at the umpire from the nosebleeds like he could see anything. And it's just a fantastic commercial. I highly recommend looking at the Bob Uecker Miller Lite commercials. Maybe I'll play a couple of those before we go to ad breaks today, because they are so funny.
What a funny person. Funny guy.
Oh, genuinely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, not even just as a broadcaster, just an incredibly funny man. And he made over 100 appearances on the Johnny Carson Tonight Show. The place for comedy from the 1960s up to the 1990s. The place where comics went and got big. He made over 100 appearances. He was, and Pat is pointing it out in the chat right now, he was very close with another one of our favorite comedians, Norm Macdonald.
Yep.
Him and Norm were tight. And Artie Lang has a great story about meeting Bob Euchre that I cannot repeat on traditional radio.
You should find it.
Absolutely look it up, because it's absolutely hilarious talking about Bob Euchre in the middle of calling a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And so the commercials, the Carson, the movies, he was on a hit sitcom in the 80s, Mr. Belvedere. He was in over 100 episodes, I think. And he did all of this from being a mediocre baseball player.
Yep.
And just a tremendous broadcaster.
Hell of a personality.
Hell of a personality. And it's easy to say all this like, oh, he's so funny and all this stuff, but he was also just an incredible play-by-play guy. That's something that I don't want to say gets overlooked because he did it for over 50 years. That's his main, his main claim to fame.
Sure.
But his ability to bring you into a game and we talk about him broadcasting all the time, telling the story of the game. Very few did it better than Bob Euchre, and he will certainly be missed, not even just by baseball fans, just by sports fans and fans of him in general, because I saw people talking about he was in one episode of Futurama.
Was he?
Yeah. Did you watch Futurama?
I never got into Futurama.
It's a very funny show, and
sure.
There's one episode where Leela, the Cyclops character, takes up a sport called Blurns Ball, which is
the announcer of Blurns
yes,
Ball?
he's the announcer of Blurns Ball as a severed head in a jar. It's the head of Bob Euchre. I'm Bob Euchre. Welcome to another beautiful day for Blurns Ball, as maybe the worst Blurns Ball player of all time takes the field. Like, and he's it's so funny, and people were like, "This is all I knew him for," and he's one of the most memorable parts of that show.
Wow.
Like, he's transcended everything. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. He used to do WWF wrestling back in the day. And he even has an influence on us, kind of, because when we do that fake broadcaster voice we do sometimes,
it's Euchre.
We're just doing a bad Euchre impression.
Yeah. I'm John. There it is.
Yeah,
there we go, Mark. Here we go.
It's obviously
it's a conglomerate of a bunch of
it's a bunch of people, but he's one of them. I mean,
sure.
That delivery is so iconic. Just a bit outside. Tried the corner and missed. Like, I can't believe I didn't go back and watch all of Major League, but I do think I watched every line he had from Major League on Thursday, because they're all just so good. Ball 4. Ball 8. Walks the bases loaded on 12 straight balls. How can they lay off pitches that close? And they're all 6 feet from the zone, almost hitting guys in the head. He was just tremendous. And Pat said he's literally watching that clip right now.
There's a compilation of just Euchre in Major League.
Well, no, I think he was talking about the Ball 4, Ball 8,
like
that stuff. But he, man, it really does sting that he's gone. And he obviously lived an incredible life. He was 90 years old, but he was one of those guys you're like, nah, this guy's gonna be calling Brewers games until I die.
The real tragedy here is that we didn't get him involved on our new segment, kind of, that the people have been pushing for, that he certainly would have voted on.
He certainly would have had a vote.
Would have voted for Pat's. I'd like to think it's Pat's segment of Rack of the Week.
Yeah, I do think it's Pat's segment. Pat and Jim.
Yeah.
But
Horn Dogs Rack of the Week.
Yeah, he absolutely would have had a vote, and he would have gone very detailed in his descriptions. Pat said we should name the award after him.
Bob Euchre's weekly.
Listen. Let's keep that during the breaks, all right?
All right, my bad.
We'll discuss it more during the break, but yeah, I think that's it. I think we name the award after him in memoriam. So yeah, rest in peace to an absolute icon, Bob Euchre, and also David Lynch died the same day.
Yeah,
Great director, 78 years old. Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, known probably most for Twin Peaks, the hit show that ran on ABC, directed the 1980s Dune movie. The Elephant Man was nominated for Best Director, Best Picture, all that stuff. And actually kind of discovered by Mel Brooks, which is an interesting connection. The young Frankenstein Blazing Saddles guy saw his movie Eraserhead, which was his first feature film, and was like, that guy's got it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I believe it was Mel Brooks is the reason he got to direct The Elephant Man, and which made him a household name in the 1980s. So there you go. The little strange connection with David Lynch there, but rest in peace to two icons, David Lynch and Bob Uecker. Is your dad's in the chat, Josh, saying that he's upset with himself that Josh has not seen any of the Miller Lite commercials. Well, we're gonna take a break, and before we do, this show is not sponsored by Miller Lite, but it's going to seem like it today. Here's one of Bob Uecker's Miller Lite commercials.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. I love them. These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy. He missed the tag. He missed the tag.
No one sells their stocks more pre-owned vehicles than Drivers Village. Over 500 used, one location. Shop the used car and truck warehouse and everywhere at Drivers Village. See.
Dude, he's so funny. There's one where he goes into a bar and he goes, yeah, you know, I love these fans and they love buying me a light beer from Miller for my days as a former ball player. And this guy next to him, who the commercial's from like 1983 or something, the guy next to him is actually John Goodman before anyone knew who John Goodman was. And he goes, it's always an honor to buy a beer for the legendary Whitey Ford. And he's like, yeah, I lied. But so, you know, oh, light beer from Miller, all this stuff. And then at the end, he's showing them how he threw a curveball, but he's doing it with his right hand, and Whitey Ford was a lefty. And Goodman goes, hey, Whitey, I thought you were a lefty. He just goes, oh, yeah, and throws the ball in his other hand. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Bob Uecker rack of the week is certainly.
Well, we stick it to the breaks, you know. Jim, Pat, put your predictions in there. You know, Taylor alluded to the fact that
she's going to Costa Rica. Pat just said it.
How do you already know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did she even drop that?
I don't know, but they were discussing it already.
Jesus H. Christ. I mean, I can't.
Jim goes, Pat, original rack of the week wants to go back to Aruba. And then Pat said, dude, she's going to Costa Rica. What a country.
Costa Rica. Some call it the Hawaii of the East Coast.
Yep,
That's what I hear.
There
It's got volcanoes. It's got the zip lines. What more do you need?
This headphone adapter, isn't it? Are your headphones working?
They weren't working. No.
Okay.
But now they are. Now they're working. You want mine? I don't care about it. I'm not a, professional. I don't really care about that stuff.
I guess I'll just do that, see if that works. I don't know. Yeah, it's still only coming in through one ear.
I mean, you take mine. I don't.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Josh, your headphones aren't working now. So, full disclosure, I showed up today. Josh, headphones are optional for you a lot of the time.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
never
always wear them. So I forgot my adapter for my headphone. Oh, there we go. Oh, that works now. That wasn't working before. Are yours working?
No.
Okay. I forgot my adapter to plug my headphones into the soundboard here because it requires a 1/4-inch adapter, not a 1.8 millimeter or whatever it is. So I forgot my adapter, so I ran into one of the other studios and grabbed some, and we've just been having headphone troubles the entire time.
I only got one tube going.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I also only have one or if it's just.
I don't
Yeah,
really leave one
I
off
think I
anyway.
only have one. So I don't know. I'm gonna be trying to figure this out the entirety of the show because this is gonna bother the hell out of me. I came in yesterday to the Manchild show for a brief segment at the start to celebrate my fantasy football win in the Manchild show Chumps League. I've got the trophy sitting right here next to me, of course, facing out to the camera so everyone can see the title as well. And yeah, so yesterday we were like about to start the show. It was like 9:59 and 45 seconds. I was like, crap, I need headphones. I ran out to, thankfully there was an intern out there and stole his headphones, but I would have died if I didn't have headphones for a half an hour doing a radio show. It's just, we used to, I'm trying to remember when we did Hot Stove in college. Did we wear headphones?
I don't know. I feel like it was something I did back then just because it felt more professional. It felt cool. But
Yeah.
honestly, now I don't even need them. I don't really know why we have them. Other than the callers. It's the only reason I need them.
Yeah, the callers are big. But for me, it's something about, because when I first started doing this, I hated them. I'm like, I don't want to wear them. I don't want to listen to the sound of my own voice in my ears, but now I need to. I feel like something's horribly wrong if I'm doing this and I don't have headphones on. So this is just bugging the crap out of me.
Yeah, I guess hearing my own voice is nice. I'm kind of an egomaniac in that sense, so that's cool.
You kind of
I
have
like
to
that.
be in broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, these people want to listen to me.
Sure.
I have good takes. I have good ideas.
All the time.
All the time. You said you had some ideas before the show today.
Well, I was doing the thing. I thought it was going to be a great one in the break, but Jim and Pat are just dogs. They're already on it.
About where
destination sites,
Taylor
yeah.
Mathis is going for next country.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yep.
Jim, also, shout out to you, getting dragged by Syracuse media right now.
Yeah, Jim, we're driving in. I'm driving into the studio, and I get out of my car, and Josh goes, Jim's just getting destroyed by guys on Twitter right now. Tough look for our boy Jim.
Well, it's like, I don't know who I just don't know who they are. I'm not. I'm locked
you're
into
not
the Syracuse.
around. You're not from around here. Yeah.
So I'm just like, I thought they were getting mad at me at first. I'm like, what the hell did I say? what did I do? And I see Jim trying to egg me about Georgetown, which, as pointed out, were without two starters last night. Pretty important ones.
Yeah, but you still lost to DePaul.
It was a close game.
It's DePaul. They hadn't won. They lost 39 Big East games in a row.
It hurt. It still hurt, even without two guys.
Yeah.
But Jim's off to a tough start today. I don't know if Syracuse winning today would even make it better. So
no, who do they play today? Notre Dame, I think.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm like, why are they playing them again? But they're in a real conference for basketball.
Yes. Yeah. The only sport they're not in the ACC for is football.
Isn't that something?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go on your whole diatribe about. And Jim says, does Josh realize most of my posts are sarcastic?
Yeah, no.
I
get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it. I just didn't realize why they did.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Is the thing.
I read you, Jim.
Shout out the one guy who was just staying true to himself as a consummate professional, Chris Carlson, who's just like, yeah, that's fun. Like talking about the like the CBA and stuff, and Chris Carlson just like doing his Chris Carlson thing. Oh, it's still going. I just realized. Yeah, they're still talking about the CBA and all that stuff. So yeah, Chris and Jim said Chris is great. Chris is one of the best in the business. Love Chris. Realistically, the whole crew they've got working on Syracuse basketball for Syracuse.com, just incredible. Brent, great guy. Donna, Mike Waters, Chris Carlson. Donna Dakota, just fantastic. Really, really great crew working over at Syracuse.com. I give them a lot of credit. I was actually sitting right by him during the Wake Forest game and said hello to all of them. It was the big three. It was Brent, Mike, and Donna.
Wow.
All there. And I'm like, this is wild.
Well,
why
they gave
why
you
are
some
you all
credentials for
here?
that game.
They did actually give me credentials
About
for that game.
goddamn time.
It's the first time I've ever been credentialed for an SU basketball game. I've done lacrosse before, but yeah, they actually decided.
I mean,
to
this
give me
would be the
credentials.
season. It's about damn time. I mean, nobody wants to come to these things.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
I mean, nobody's writing on this team.
I had tickets and didn't go recently. So, your father said, "Damn it, DePaul lost a 4-point lead with less than a minute to spare."
Against Marquette.
Against Marquette, we were without the likely Big East freshman and player of the year. I think he meant to say. He said Big East freshman and of the year.
Yeah. Freshman of the year.
Yeah.
Sorber.
Yeah.
He's very passionate.
Jim said other radio programs love to make excuses for losses, so it's too tempting not to troll. Yeah, I'm done making excuses. They're just bad.
Yeah.
They're really bad. Did you see any of that Louisville game on Tuesday?
No.
It was atrocious.
I mean, they got blown out, right?
Oh, yeah. They lost by like 24 or something. And it was the third straight game that Elijah Moore was in the starting lineup and played less than 10 minutes, so that's great. I'm done. I am absolutely done with this team. Jim said SU +8 versus Louisville was not a great investment. I was at my other job, and someone was like, "Mark, what are your thoughts on the SU game tonight?" And I was like, "Hammer Louisville."
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you really? You don't think we can cover 8 against Louisville?" I'm like, first of all, Louisville is much better than they were the past couple of years.
Mhm.
They're a greatly improved team.
Like DePaul.
Yeah, not like DePaul. DePaul still stinks.
They're 10-9.
Yeah, but I was
Compared to the last few years, that's a great improvement.
Yeah, I did this with my dad. Let's go through the
DePaul
the
wins.
wins for DePaul because we were talking about DePaul, and this was maybe a couple weeks, maybe a week or two ago, and I was like, "Yeah, DePaul's off to a pretty good start. You know, they started like 5-0 or something."
Holy Cross is on there. Has to be. They've had to have beaten Holy Cross.
Here are the wins for DePaul this year: Southern Indiana, who they beat by 2 in overtime.
They made the tourney last year, right? Wasn't that the white kid, Robbie?
No, that was Indiana State.
Oh, Jesus.
Southern Indiana,
Okay.
Prairie View,
Yep.
Mercer, Duquesne, Eastern Illinois, Northern Illinois. So DePaul beat a team that Notre Dame couldn't.
They ran the Illinois track.
Yeah. Valparaiso.
Yeah, Valpo.
Yeah, Valpo. Then they lost to Texas Tech, lost to Providence in overtime.
You know,
Beat the Wichita State Shockers.
I mean, they are killing the mid-majors.
Yeah, they're absolutely dominating the mid-majors. Wichita State, obviously known for that like insane tournament run they went on 10 years ago with Fred Van Vliet.
Mm-hmm.
But not a good program now. Got blown out by St. John's, got blown out by Northwestern, beat Loyola Maryland.
Oh.
Just like you said, dominating the mid-major circuit. Blown out by UConn. Not even just blown out, absolutely dismantled by Villanova, 100-56.
Okay.
Lost to Seton Hall, who's terrible, 80-85. Lost to Xavier, lost to Marquette, who they did take to overtime, and then they beat Georgetown.
You know, the Big East is
For
just one of the best conferences out there. You know, a lot of eating on each other.
The Big East is a great conference, except for 2 teams.
DePaul
and Seton Hall.
Oh, that's fair.
Georgetown, I've given Georgetown a lot of credit this year.
You have.
They're on the up and up. Ed Cooley doing the Ed Cooley thing, where he's just a really good coach.
Just needs a little more money thrown his way, or a hat. Why can't he get a hat? I don't understand it.
I've said it before. This is my favorite running thing on this show: is your hatred for Ed Cooley just because of his hair.
What hair? No,
he's got alopecia. People get slapped over this sort of joke, Josh. You know that, right? If people get slapped at the Oscars over this sort of joke.
I don't think his spouse is going to defend him much. Wasn't Cooley fooling around?
Yeah, there was something there, wasn't there?
She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She makes fun of it, too.
Pat said DePaul had their first Big East win in like 2 years yesterday. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
It's the whole thing.
That's
39 games they lost in conference.
Yeah,
until
and they
yesterday.
beat Georgetown.
Yeah,
because it's 11:24 a.m. and Georgetown still stinks.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's just the way it goes.
It's true.
But sometimes I think Pat just zones out.
He's still looking at Taylor Mathis tweets.
Yeah, probably.
He's tracking her flight to Costa Rica.
He also gave out this week's award.
I got to look at
Yeah,
that.
well, I'll mention it in the break, which we're about to take. So we'll be right back in just a minute here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
Who is?
For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score. This headphone thing is unbelievable. Are you just, what are you going through there?
There's a massive group chat blowing up about my game night tonight.
Oh.
I'll tell you after the show. It's not even show. No, this is
it's not even break show worth
like it can't be talked about.
Oh boy.
The thing that I want to talk about can't be.
I think I got him. Jim says Syracuse plus 3.5 today after hearing others claim for weeks that SU would have beaten Notre Dame had JJ played the first game. How is that not free money? Stop betting Syracuse.
Yeah, just give up.
Jim.
Call the number, Jim.
Call the number. And we're back outside the box. Ah, damn it. I thought I fixed the headphones during the break. I didn't.
I'm not even going to wear them.
Fair.
I don't even want them.
Are yours working like at all?
Yeah, they're both working now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Want to switch?
Yeah, I told you this 20 minutes ago.
I can't do it. I just can't do the show without proper working headphones. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
That's so much better. Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, of course. Take them always. I don't even bring. I used to try and bring a pair. I don't care. The only way they affect me is that it's sometimes nice to know to not breathe directly into the microphone because I'm large and just breathe heavy. Yeah, pretty much. Just, my nose goes in, so I just
pulling one of those. Yeah.
So I'm always off here.
You're doing the Tazon Day, the chocolate rain.
Is that right? Does he do that?
Yes. He multiple times during that video. This is such a great topical reference. Talking about chocolate rain in the year of our Lord 2025. And but yeah, multiple times during that video, he's like standing there. And it says on the screen, steps away from Mike to breathe. Like a little caption comes up. It's very funny. It's just chocolate rain. Some stay dry. It just keeps moving back and forth. It's really good. That's a great topic of 13-year-old viral video. Jim was saying during the break that he thinks SU plus 3 is free money today, and Jim, call the number. It's we got to stop betting Syracuse in any capacity. They play today. I don't even know what time that game
4
is.
o'clock.
4 o'clock. Thank you. Because I'm just so done caring about this year's team. There's nothing redeeming about them, because the two things that we thought were going to be at least fun in Elijah Moore and Donnie Freeman. Excuse me. Elijah Moore starts and plays 7 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and Donnie Freeman's hurt.
Yep.
He's still in a boot. They keep saying he's day-to-day. I keep saying that's a load of bull.
You'll never get a real answer from Red.
No. I've heard he's probably out until February.
I mean, you said it right. There's nothing to be excited about. It's crazy to think how bad the team got in a year that was really exciting.
Yeah.
They've had bad years in the last 2 years, like really since even when Bayham was
Last
here.
year they won 20 games.
Yeah, but it wasn't a popping game. You knew
No.
what you were.
Yeah.
You knew what you were. You might have snuck into the tournament, but, the team was what it was. This year, you're excited. You bring in a 5-star. Friedman's ecstatic. I mean, everyone was really pumped up.
Yeah.
Friedman's hurt. He wasn't really getting the playing time before the injury anyways.
No, he was
Like,
playing less than 30 minutes a game, despite the fact he was leading the team in scoring and rebounding.
Right. Lampkin is fun to watch. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
Lampkin's fun.
When he's able to play.
Sure. Yes.
I mean, when he's able to move,
yes.
It's fun to watch him, but he hasn't been the star big man we thought we were going to get.
No. The JJ stretch of being injured was painful to watch the team without a ball handler like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, you're in a rut where you're not even excited about it. You don't even want to watch games. And somehow you have to be excited that Carmelo's kid's coming next year.
Yeah,
what's it do?
The start of next year, I'm afraid that for me, and I'm saying this just for me because I think a lot of people are already saying, I don't even care about next year as long as Red Autry's still the coach.
Oh boy.
A lot of people are saying stuff like that. I'm not there. I'm close, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the start of next year is going to feel like the start of this year, and the season's going to go pretty damn similar. Where I'm going to be like, all right, it's a bad year last year, but it's fine. We've got Kai and Anthony. We've got Sadiq White. We've got these guys coming in. We're going to get a couple of transfers. Chris Bell is going to come back next year, and hopefully he'll remember how to shoot the basketball. He had a good shooting performance on Tuesday. The only highlight of Syracuse's game against Louisville was Chris Bell actually remembered how to shoot threes. Pat said those people will buy in immediately if they're any good. Yes, I agree. But if they are any good, that's a big if right now. And Jim said who had more rebounds versus Louisville, Chris Bell or Josh?
Was it Josh?
I think it was Josh.
We tie?
I think you guys tied.
Woo!
He also said who had more steals or assists. Jim's hatred for Chris Bell is something really interesting because this year, sure, he has been not good this year. He's shooting like 24% from behind the arc.
That ain't great.
A guy that shot over 40% from behind the arc last year. So we know he can do it. But last year, his hatred for him was much funnier because he was still scoring like 16, 17.
He was one of the bright spots of the team.
Yeah, he would go out and, it'd make 24 or drop 24 or something on 6 3-pointers.
But how many rebounds did he get? Yeah.
And Jim says, is scoring the only thing that matters? No, obviously not. But I've said before, I would love to see Chris Bell, crash the glass a little more. He's a big body. He's 6'7". I'd love to see him crash the glass a little bit more or play better defense. But at least we knew last year what he was good at.
There's a value in having a guy who can just shoot.
Yeah.
If the rest of the team is good.
Yeah, if the rest of the team is good. And now this year, he can't shoot, and the rest of the team still isn't good. It's just miserable. It is a miserable time to be a Syracuse basketball fan. I'm waiting for a lacrosse season. Like
the attendance, it's honestly sadder almost when you get the home games too, because the attendance is like really jarring in a place like the Dome.
I didn't see what they announced the attendance was for Tuesday, but if it was anything more than 5,000, they're blissfully wrong. Like they announced it was 19,750. Bull crap.
For the Louisville game?
Yeah.
That's more than the SU game. Wasn't it?
No,
19?
the SU Louisville game.
Or I would say that's more than the Georgetown game.
Yeah, they announced 17,000 for the Georgetown game, and that also was just wrong. There was 10 maybe.
They're like pro wrestling companies announcing their gates now. Like,
yeah,
we're in a sellout crowd. You're like, oh, no, you're not.
I was talking to yesterday before we went to the movie. I stopped at that pub to have a beer.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the bartender, and I mentioned I was from Syracuse, and I was the only person in the bar. It was
I was like, we
great.
got to talk about that guy was a character. We haven't talked about. We talk about him later. I want to know more about that guy. I
Yeah.
was only there for a little bit. He's got some things.
Yeah. But he was in Georgetown game was during winter break for the students, so which fair, which is, but it's also just a stupid scheduling decision. In my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah. It's every year like that.
The fact that rivalry week happens when students are on break blows my mind.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But what was I talking about? Oh, the bartender. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, you big Syracuse basketball fan?" I was like, "Yeah, I am, but I don't really care this year." And we were talking about it. He goes, "Well, at least they still like sell out the dome." I was like, "What?"
Is that what the crew thinks?
He goes, "Yeah, a buddy of mine, he's gone to a couple of games, and he says that place is like a sellout every night." I'm like, absolutely not. I've gone to 4 games this year. None of them have been close.
That's a buddy who wants you to come and be like, dude, it's so fun. Like, there's so many people.
It just blows my mind that they continue to announce attendance like that. Like, they said they had 19,000 for the Louisville game. I'll have to find Brent Axe took a picture like right around tip off of the stands.
Yep.
Empty. Green T-shirts everywhere. They were giving out green T-shirts. They were putting them on the seats everywhere. And it's just so annoying to see. Yep, another 19,000 people at the Dome tonight. Now there's about 7.
What was the green T-shirts for?
It was a giveaway for actually originally I thought it was Libman, who's the mop company.
Yeah.
No, it was actually a National Grid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pat says Brent Axe still complaining about how Boeheim hates him. No. Oh, it was green Jim said not grid or Nat Grid Green Energy. So yeah, it was a National Grid Green Energy thing. Who cares?
Somebody who gave money. Yeah, that's fine. All right.
I
was like a little early for this Irish stuff. I know I'm in Syracuse now. A little
we're
early.
getting close. Pat, when's parade day? Pat,
we gotta
get off
Tommy
the top of my head. Yeah. We'll get Tommy back on. Pat and Jim are just going back and forth in the chat about the Georgetown game. Pat said, "I don't know. Georgetown is for the old fans. Students right now don't care about that game. I think my class at SU was probably the cutoff, which was 4 years ago."
I'd agree with that. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about that. And Jim said, "To be fair, students right now don't care about most games." Pat said they cared when we were good, Jim. And then Jim said, "This is depressing. The last time SU was ranked was 2016.
That was their first year in the ACC, right?
No, 2013 or 2018. It says 2018.
Oh, okay.
So, parade's March 15th.
There you go.
Yeah, 2018, and that's just depressing.
I don't think I think it's just a bad college that I don't know what schools really get hyper on their sports programs regardless. Like they should be packing that place out whether the team is great or good or whatever. Like this team should still get people to view. What are you doing in Syracuse? No, I go to campus.
Yeah.
Multiple times a week. I'm on campus. What else are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. Well, part of the problem is like and I was going to say tickets are starting to get more expensive when they shouldn't, but also students get them cheaper, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I don't understand it. I don't know what else the student is consuming their time with on a weekday, or at least, certain bodies of the students.
Yeah.
Right. Not to make it a sex thing, but like if you're a dude just on campus,
just go to a game.
Right. Yes. I don't understand it. I don't get that. I would have killed to have a D1 sports program in college that I could go to nightly.
Absolutely.
I'd go see the weird. I'd go to lacrosse games. I'd go to the weird ones just to be like, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm here. I don't understand.
And we went to D3 hockey games. Like it was like
every game.
Yeah. I didn't go to every game, but I went to.
I saw Buff State. I saw the Buff States. I saw them all.
Because it was just the thing to do. It's like, it's Friday night in Oswego. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to go to the hockey game, and then we're going to go to Bridge Street.
That's right.
And hang out on Bridge Street until 2 a.m.
It doesn't make sense to me. And especially you can drink at the Dome.
Yeah,
You drink there. I don't understand.
they
I mean,
sell Myers Creek Brewing Company.
and I get it as a kid, it's expensive, but like, what? I don't know. Bring it in. Find a way. Be a college student. Have fun. Like these kids suck. That's the problem, Jim.
Pat said he had plans when he was in college. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know if Pat went to that many games.
Wait, plans? You just getting?
Yeah, he was just being like, oh yeah, I had plans. You know, like
Yeah.
we know you're a cool, popular guy, Pat.
Hound.
And yeah, Jim said D3 basketball can be fun. D3 basketball is fun. I love going to Oswego games. I still go to at least one, if not 2 or 3 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Pat said, okay, it's expensive to drink at the Dome. Yes,
That's
we know
true.
it is very expensive to drink
qualify.
at the Dome. But you can still do it.
Yeah.
For years, it was the only on-campus stadium to sell alcohol. That was like the
Sure.
Dome's claim to fame, outside of being the largest college basketball arena.
There's enough trust fund babies at SU that they can go afford to drink at the games.
Oh, okay. Pat said he went to probably 90% of the basketball games he was at SU for. So
There you
good.
go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the exception of 2020, which makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I honestly couldn't remember if Pat was going to games all the time when he was at SU. So yeah, there aren't enough students like you, Pat.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what we're saying is
We're on your side,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, I think so.
I'm saying students suck now.
There was another point that was brought up that I wanted to mention. Oh, it was Pat mentioned it. That this is going to be the first SU graduating class in 50 years to never see the team make the tournament.
Wow. That's incredible. In 50 years?
Yeah, in 50 years, in their 4 years, to not see the team make the tournament. And Jim also said the last time 2 ranked teams played in the Dome. You want to take a stab at that? So Syracuse and a ranked opponent?
Duke.
Yeah, but when?
I assume it was 2018 when you said it.
No, 2014.
Oh, wow.
It's been over 10 years since SU was ranked and played a ranked opponent in the Dome.
Yeah, I mean, the program is not on the right side of things, I don't think. But it could be great. Who knows? Next year, it's exciting. The future, you never know.
You never know, but it's...
I will say, it's the chopping block has to be a lot slimmer for Red.
Yeah.
He probably gets next year, obviously. Like, you get Carmelo's kid. Nobody's going to move you then.
Yeah.
That's probably part of the reason why he's going in some way, his connection with Red or something. So then, like, you get a year. You get to see if the team gets improved by any metrics. And then we'll see. I really don't think the leash is that long.
I don't either. Pat mentioned we beat Duke in overtime that game. Yes, one of the great games in really the last 20 years of college basketball was that SU Duke game. My dad was there. It was tremendous. That was I want to say that was the John Gillen.
Okay.
No, that might have been pre-John Gillen. I don't remember. Jim says next year's excuse will be #young team, so Red will likely get a 4th year. They're all young teams now. That's the problem, is everyone's either a freshman or a transfer, so it doesn't matter anymore. There's no continuity in college basketball anymore. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to do what your dad wants us to do. We're going to talk some NFL.
Oh!
So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back in just a minute here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' On By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek. Pat said that stat can't be true, talking about the 2014 one, because John Gillen game was 2017. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the John Gillen game. I couldn't remember what year that was. But were we ranked for the John Gillen game? I'm not entirely sure that we were. Jim just said the lines are currently Kansas City -9, Detroit -9.5, Philadelphia -6, Bills +1, and Ohio State -8.
OSU -8.
Yeah.
I know where Pat's on.
That's a big number.
I'll tell you.
I'd be taking Notre Dame on that
A
number.
lot of big numbers this week in the NFL. Not to toot my own horn. I was perfect last week. Absolutely perfect. Now, I didn't bet the Bills game, of course, because, I mean, come on, I'm a fan of anyone but the Bills.
Yeah.
But I told Adam before the game, I'm like, they're going to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, picked them perfect, and I think I got the script again this week. I think.
You think you got the script?
I think so.
Jim said he asked Mike Waters 2 ranked teams a couple of years ago, and he answered Duke 2014. So, and Pat said shout out the GOAT Mike Waters. So I agree.
He say,
also, Stone put in his pick for Rack of the Week.
Who's that?
30 domestic lights. Yes, Stone.
Did he say Bills -1?
Bills +1.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ravens -1.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously the marquee matchup of the weekend, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the marquee matchups of the season.
Could be the Super Bowl winner.
Could be. Pat said Sidney Thomas again.
I mean, I think, yeah.
Just in all caps. All he said was Sidney Thomas.
I don't know if it's just my Twitter algorithm is broken or what, but that girl is still all over it.
Yeah,
and
me
it's
too.
Been months since the Tyson fight, it feels like.
Well, yeah, she got popular for it.
I know. Yeah, I mean, now she's just blonde. I don't even know what she does. I don't know what she's
is. She's a student at Alabama, I think.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. You're going to talk a little bit of the football. A little foosball going on this weekend, Josh.
Foosball's for the devil.
There's a reason I said foosball, and it's because I knew you were going to go with it. 4 games this weekend, 2 today, 2 tomorrow. 4:30 today, Texans Chiefs. Chiefs currently sitting at -9.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of people on the Texans. A lot of people picking the Texans. I don't think so.
Don't buy into it.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon's been hurt this week.
Yep.
He's barely going to play. C.J. Stroud is broken. I think their defense played really well last week against the Chargers.
Looked great.
Obviously, Herbert threw a boatload of picks.
Yeah, 4.
I don't know what is wrong with him. And people are citing, because I brought it up last week to some buddies. I'm like, what happened? And they're like, no, he's been pretty off all year.
Yeah,
which is right.
He hasn't been right this year. I don't know.
It's the slump.
Yeah,
it could be the sophomore slump, and something's wrong with him. And I don't think he's going to figure it out against Steve Spagnuolo today.
No, and that Kansas City defense is just so good.
Yeah, as much as Mahomes gets a lot of the eyes, the defense is bonkers.
Their offense has been pedestrian this year.
100% agree.
There were 4 teams in the NFL that never scored 30 points in a game this season.
Mm-hmm.
The Kansas City Chiefs, who went 15-2 somehow. The New York Giants, or no, the Giants actually snapped that with their win over the Colts. Yeah. So they're not even in there anymore. It was the Chiefs, the Raiders, and maybe the Jets. Like it was 2 or 3 horrific teams in and the Patriots.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like one of these things is not like the others.
That's the only thing that would lead me to believe they couldn't cover is the fact that they really haven't covered a line like this all year.
No, they haven't
blown people out 2-score games.
Listen, I'm not one to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs.
No.
So
no, I'd like the Chiefs today.
Yeah, I would go with the Chiefs. And the 8 o'clock game, really fun matchup in the NFC, in my opinion. The Washington Commanders, led by rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, and maybe the most fun team to watch in football, the Detroit Lions, also won 15-2 this year. Lions currently an 8.5-point favorite. I think that's a pretty big number.
The Commanders are live, Mark. They're not live just to cover. I think they win this game.
Do you really?
I really think this is the time. I think the Commanders come out. Something about that. This is why I'm so mad that Dan Quinn is gone, and now we're pursuing Kellen Moore instead of we had the guy.
You had the guy.
Kellen Moore going was the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I don't think Kellen Moore is all that special.
I don't either.
I think he becomes predictable pretty quick.
Yeah.
But Dan Quinn is a dog, and
Mhm.
it's something different too. When he was at Atlanta, there wasn't this fire. He
No.
has a real passion.
I think what happened in the Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
like broke him a little bit,
Yes.
and he had to reignite his passion for football after that game.
Retooling as a defensive guy first,
Yep.
remembering what he is. Yeah, it's like when the hero gets broken down and
Yeah.
goes back to the roots, and he's just a damn good defensive coach.
Mhm.
And they're gonna need a damn good defensive outing against the Lions. But then remember that the Detroit Lions defense is awful. And it's not
Decimated by
necessarily
injury.
Sure, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the injuries are truly in play here, but they're not good. And the Redskins with Daniels and Scary Terry has had one of the most underrated wide receiver years in the last decade.
He is so good,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't understand why he's not getting 12 targets a game.
I mean, hell, if he was in the AFC, he would have made a Pro Bowl over Zay Flowers or Jerry Jeudy. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is the
Jerry
Pro Bowl's
Jeudy
a
being
joke.
a Pro Bowler is
It's
wild.
crazy. Do you know they picked those, by the way, in like week 13 or week 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like right after his big blow. And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a little recency. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
Pro
it's
Bowl's
really
a joke.
dumb. Yeah.
But I think the Commanders I think they're live to win the game tonight.
That's wow. I do like Pat said, dude, what Judy has been awesome this year. Yeah, he's been good. I have no problem
You
with that.
can't name 3 better wide receivers in the AFC than Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, like it's
Come on, Pat. I think Jerry Judy's having a good year.
Yeah.
Great year for the quarterbacks he's been playing with.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I do like the Commanders to cover. I don't know if I like them to win, but they're fun, man. They're Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Wow, what a season he's had, because I liked him coming out of LSU, but I didn't love him.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, we'll see. I thought he was going to be more of a project type quarterback. He stepped into that offense and really just you couldn't ask for more out of a rookie quarterback than what Jaden Daniels has given you this year.
Some guys love the pressure of that. I think there is a lot. Like, you see the exact two differences of how to run a rookie quarterback with what they did with Daniels, where they just, by no choice, really, they didn't have another guy. I mean, Mariota is a guy, but they had to start him basically from the start. Or a Drake May, who probably is also really talented, we've seen.
Yeah,
bright
I
spots
think
of
Drake
him,
May's good, yeah.
who gets screwed, essentially. I think that's the main reason Gerard Mayo's out of a job, is his mishandling of that and starting Brissett for weeks when the team was just not doing anything. Like, there's no advantage to starting Jacoby Brissett.
I also think part of it is they beat the Bills.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
I think if they lose that game like they're supposed to and get the number 1 overall pick, we might see more Gerard Mayo, but I think that's certainly part of it.
And I saw some rumors of some off the field stuff too with him, but
I didn't see anything about that.
He was a party guy, apparently. Apparently he was missing some coaches meetings out a little late.
That's not great.
That's what the dirt sheets say. But
Jim said Cliff Kingsbury's reputation has increased. He's still a terrible coach, but the guy's a good coordinator.
And what a guy too. Similar thing as Quinn, like we were talking about, when you get torn down, like probably similar attitudes these guys have, and he's declining interviews around the. He's been getting offered head coach interviews, and he's like, "I'm waiting until we finish this in Washington."
Yeah,
that's a dog mentality that I love. He's been prepping for this game.
I still think he's a bad head coach.
Yeah, I agree.
The guy went the guy went 500 in college at Texas Tech with Pat Mahomes as his quarterback.
Totally.
So I don't even think he should be a head coach anywhere. But I will not deny he is a hell of an offensive coordinator.
I mean, look at, dude, Arizona. I'm not saying they were great with Cliff Kingsbury offensively. They still had some things, but Kyler was a better system for Kyler with him than without. This year, it's been weird. He'll throw for 300. He can't find the end zone. They don't score a lot of points in Arizona. I don't know. It's a very weird offense they run now.
Yeah, it is. We've got to take one more quick timeout. We'll come back, and then we'll talk about the 2 games on Sunday coming up right after this break. This is Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score. All right, there we go.
He just texted that we live in a simulation. I saw a tall, chubby kid at Wegmans, maybe 16, glasses, decently long black hair, New Balance sneakers, cowboy sweatpants, and a John Cena sweatshirt. And I was like, what are you trying to say?
That's you.
That's just me.
That's just you. Are
Yeah.
you at Wegmans right now?
I might be. My doppelganger, my 10 years younger. I'm the 10-year senior of this
Yeah.
doppelganger.
Pat said, Mark, look what I texted you. And it was, did you see Shane Gillis's Notre Dame commercial?
No.
Oh, it's very good.
Oh, boy.
And then Pat said, should I dox Mark's address and phone number? Please don't.
Was it Lou Holtz really? Was Lou Holtz in the commercial?
I'll send it to you. Pat is currently typing out my phone number. Great.
Is he in the chat?
He just put
digit?
the first 3 digits. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Talking about the NFL games this weekend. Just did the game breakdown for the games today. 2 games tomorrow as well. And one of them, 3 o'clock, my Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Los Angeles Rams at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Philly, 6.5 point favorite. All I'm going to say is go Birds. I think we cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Rams, I was higher on the Rams going into the season than a lot of people were.
Yeah.
I like the Rams. I think there's only, at this point, with that coach and that offense, there's only a certain threshold of how bad you can be. With Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua, and Kyron Williams has been great. And we all know about Sean McVay as a head coach. So going into the season, I was like, they're definitely not going to be as bad as people are saying. Like, people are picking them to win 5-6 games. I'm like, there's no way. If everyone's healthy, there's no way that happens. And Cooper Kupp wasn't even healthy for the entire season. But and your dad said Rams are the most dangerous team left. In your opinion, you're just saying that because they're playing the Eagles.
No, I'll be honest. He's been saying it for weeks.
Oh, really?
He's been saying nobody wants to play the Rams.
No, and
when he thought we had a chance of making the playoffs, he was like, we don't want to play the Rams. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And the Rams are dangerous. The Eagles' defense is so good.
I think that the Rams cover. My only mindset there, I think the Eagles win the game. I think they can cover because the points total is pretty low. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring matchup.
42.5.
To win by a touchdown, maybe a 2013 type thing, but I think it's more like a 23-17 type vibe.
Sure.
So just my thought, the total and that cover, that spread there.
Yeah.
So I think the Rams cover somehow, but I do think the Eagles win the game still.
Fair enough. And then the marquee matchup of the weekend, one of the best matchups of the season, the Ravens and the Bills. The 2 MVP frontrunners, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Baltimore currently a 1.5 point favorite in Buffalo, which kind of surprises me. I thought the Bills would be about a point and a half.
Home dog. Home dogs this playoffs been pretty good.
Home dog for the Bills, and I'm taking them to win. I don't think Josh Allen can lose this game. It would be kind of a nightmare scenario if he loses this game and doesn't at least get the chance at Mahomes again.
Yeah. Destiny says that it wants redemption one more time.
Ravens beat the crap out of the Bills earlier this season, 35-10, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning here. Not only my Bills hatred, but like I need to see it before I think that somehow that defense in Buffalo is just going to stop Derrick Henry all of a sudden. I mean,
and
I don't know.
Derrick Henry is the X factor in this game.
Yes.
Can you stop him even a little bit?
Right.
He had 199 yards in that last game.
Yep.
And Pat brings up they were without their 4 best defensive players. Yes, the Bills were injured quite a bit in that game, but Derrick Henry is just an animal.
Can Matt Milano tackle Derrick Henry? You think so? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if Lawrence Taylor could tackle Derrick Henry.
Right.
I don't know if Andre the Giant could tackle Derrick Henry.
He couldn't.
Well, you know what I mean? Like someone that size. Like he's just he's so hard to bring down. But
you know where I lie.
Yeah, you're taking the Ravens, I'm taking the Bills. And we're ending the show. We'll see you next week, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.